if we take a look back at the sequel trilogy, there's one character that really stood out the most, at least in my opinion, and that was, of course, Ben Solo / Kylo Ren being portrayed by Adam Driver. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that we do know about when it comes to Star Wars is that, yes, we do know that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni only want the best for the Star Wars fans. They really want to keep on creating as much Star Wars legends to be resurrected, if you will, in the new Star Wars universe moving ahead. Now, when we go ahead and look at characters like Rey / Rey Skywalker in the sequel trilogy by Daisy Ridley, we know that there was a lot of creative differences during the production of Episode 9 for a very long time between J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy and even some other creatives on board of Episode 9, such as co-writer Chris Terrio. And that really caused a lot of problems for Episode 9. Mind you, that's one of the main reasons as to why there was a lot of different endings for the movie that went back and forth between the cast crew and the upper, people in the creative department. Now, when we go ahead and examine Daisy Ridley as an actress, for the longest time, a lot of fans have been very confused on Daisy Ridley's stance on Star Wars. Now, we obviously know that for a very long time, Daisy Ridley has defended, everything related to her character, Rey / Rey Skywalker, and how she was so overpowered in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and such. Now, when we go ahead and take a deeper look, a far deeper look into Daisy Ridley, this is where things begin to really brew and get more interesting as we get to learn more about her stance on Star Wars and exactly where her mind is at when it comes to the overall Star Wars universe. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars projects, such as Star Wars Ahsoka and Kenobi, it's best described that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are hard at work on developing their other projects, such as The Mandalorian and the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic. However, in a recent interview with actress Daisy Ridley, Ridley was able to reveal more and new secrets about Rey Skywalker behind the scenes, and also as to why she quit Star Wars for good and no longer wants to return. Daisy Ridley at one point in time recently went on to reveal that when they were developing The Rise of Skywalker, Kathleen Kennedy would often press J.J. Abrams to use the title The Rise of Skywalker to be all about Rey in order to make the character more important in the Disney canon, as well as a way to make Rey Skywalker as a main focus in the new Star Wars trilogy at the time. Now, when questioned on returning to Star Wars, Daisy Ridley went on to say that she currently has no interest in coming back to the franchise for multiple reasons. Daisy Ridley continued to state that one of the main reasons is given, of course, that neither John Boyega or Oscar Isaac planned to return to the franchise at all, and that she loved working with them and that it was such a fun time to be on the set with those two. Daisy Ridley reveals other reasons, given that she is trying to avoid only being seen as Rey Skywalker in the Star Wars franchise, and wants to expand her acting career through other projects, and also does not want to deal with the constant creative differences that would often happen for Episode 9, and even, of course, the other films. Now, this is a very interesting development when it comes to Daisy Ridley as an actress. Here's something that a lot of fans really need to know that is very important for the actress. Now, so far, she doesn't really have any major blockbusters coming her way. It really seems like that Daisy Ridley out of the bunch is more or less the unfortunate actress out of Star Wars. So, when we look at Adam Driver, it seems like he's getting bigger roles, per se. So he could very well, be the Harrison Ford of our time when it comes to the Star Wars franchise, the actual trilogy, on how successful an actor becomes. Now, of course, when we go ahead and examine Daisy Ridley's stance on Star Wars, the fact that she does not want to come back for 3 reasons. Number 1, Oscar Isaac and John Boyega do not want to return for Star Wars, and that it would be very desperate of them to even come back. Even Oscar Isaac talked about this. I don't know if you guys remember that interview where Oscar Isaac said, I would really have to, need a lot of money to want to come back to Star Wars. And I think that single-handedly just tells us that a lot of actors and actresses on board of the sequel trilogy had a very bad experience when it came to at least the creative side of the franchise. Of course, they had fun with the cast and the crew and making these movies, but on a creative level, a lot of these actors just did not agree with things. Even Bill Burr, when it came to the Mandalorian series, I mean, he even voiced his opinion on Gina Carano. He stands with Gina Carano. And a lot of actors, believe it or not, you would be surprised that a lot of them have different beliefs than what you think, but they're just keeping their mouths shut. They are. So Daisy Ridley at least had the opportunity to kind of voice her opinion on why she does not want to return to Star Wars, period. The main reason here being, also, is that she wants to avoid a company that has a lot of creative differences and a lot of back and forth scenarios. We witnessed this firsthand with The Rise of Skywalker. It's one of the main reasons as to why we were supposed to get a trailer for December of 2018, and we did not get that. The main reason as to why it was all delayed had all to do with the fact that Kathleen Kennedy was going back and forth with the overall sequel trilogy's end. She basically was the one in charge of the marketing of Episode 9, and it was a hot mess. It really was. It was a terrible mess. It was not the best for the Star Wars fandom. So, when we go ahead and look at Kathleen Kennedy overall, she never really treated the actors and or the actresses with respect. They poured their heart and soul into filming so many different scenes that really took a lot of time and effort and a lot of rehearsing and training and physical training, I must add. It was tiresome for even Daisy Ridley. She talked about this a couple months ago, that a lot of her scenes being cut was very, very, very much depressing because of how much work she poured in to those particular scenes with, of course, Adam Driver and Ian McDiarmid that just ended up getting deleted. Again, like I say, when we go ahead and examine of what Star Wars is about, it is all about family. That's the core of the story, and you want to stay with that, right? And you would think that, obviously, Rey Skywalker's character would have been a little bit more, embedded within that philosophy. We do know that, yes, they tied her to Palpatine, but they wanted to also make it confusing by also making her a quote-unquote Skywalker per se. That's one thing that a lot of fans just did not really agree with. But I digress. When it comes to Daisy Ridley's stance on Star Wars and as to why she is not returning to the franchise and how she unveiled of how Kathleen Kennedy, wanted to make so many different changes with Rey Skywalker and how she was constantly pressing J.J. Abrams to kind of, make all these different adjustments. It just goes to show that a lot of fans out there, didn't really see this coming when it came to Episode 9. Kathleen Kennedy, at the end of the day, she is the very one that said there was no source material to pull from Star Wars Legends to use in the current canon when it came to the overall franchise. So think about that for a second, right? So, like I've said before, I think that Daisy Ridley, she's becoming more brave to voice her opinion about her experience, and I do respect that. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you.